together.
In all full disclosure, I've never done this song. But apparently Deborah did it the week I was gone. So here we go. May I be in peace. If you have the Sing hymnal in your right there, it is number 32 if you'd like to look at the music, which I like to do. Here we go. May you be and... May we. Isn't that French? May we? Here we go. One. May we. Well, now it's a favorite of mine.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Good morning. I have some nice announcements, cool things coming up. Our spring equinox sunrise service, we say sunrise, but it's actually at 7 a.m., will be at March 23rd. That's next Sunday, right, Rod? Here in the courtyard. Roxanna's going to bring her keyboard, I guess, and play out there for us. And let's align our hearts in gratitude and acceptance for the gift of life. Following, a couple of days after that, on Tuesday, March 25th, we have our Stardust Gathering with musical guest Stacy Pendleton, Indigenous prayers, and lots of stardust. That'll be at 6:30 p.m. here in the sanctuary. Then, April 20th, the most fun and unusual idea I've ever heard of for an Easter celebration. We're going to have the service, and then we're going to have a Mexican food feast with mariachi music. So tell all your friends, and especially all your Latino friends, this is happening here at the neighborhood. Have a great day.
Does anybody here remember Carmelitas when they had that wonderful guy playing a long time ago? No? Playing mariachi, all kinds of music? That was the best. Anyway, made me think of it.
Well, let's do it again.
That's what we're doing.
That's what we're doing.
It was that little mama.
This morning, please join me with the gathering words. There is silence.
And there is light.
There is music.
And there is grace.
There are people.
And there is life.
there is hope. Let us celebrate well today. May it be so.
You all know this Johnny Nash song. We've had such a great rain, have we not? Here we go. I can see clearly now the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that had me blind. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. Say that again. It's gonna be a bright, sunshiny day. I think I can make it now. The pain is gone. All of the bad feelings have disappeared. Here is the rainbow I've been praying for. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. Look all around. Look all around. That's it. Look straight ahead, nothing but blue sky. I can see clearly now, the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that had me bound, blind. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. Say it one more time. It's gonna be a bright. Have you seen all the birds building their nests? I had a coyote cross in front of me the other day right after the rain. They're all out. Everybody, spring is coming. Yeah.
Morning. Today's reflection. The critical point of our healing from the wounds of separation turns on our understanding of how we are connected. While we are in a beach town, let's step away from the image of the wave and the ocean. It's not wise to be caught by one image, by one metaphor, by one analogy. Here's another of the most important thing that we can discover about ourselves. We are, each of us, the meeting of many strands in a vast web of relationship. Our finding this is our deepest truth and living from the knowing of our larger intimacy. That is wisdom. Whether we fancy it up with a capital W or not, that is wisdom. All this echoing those gifts, I suggest wisdom as the precociousness of life, strength as the prayers of the longing heart, and tellingly, compellingly, courage for rescuing the lost. Our living with these treasures is the way of the wise heart. As the Proverbs sing to us, the wise in heart shall be called prudent, and the sweetness of their lips increasing our learning.
Thank you, Susan. Let's take a moment of breath in and out. Come on again. In and out. Eli, do me a favor. Take me back to the top, those words to the meta prayer. Just want to put them on the screen for a moment. Put them back up there for me. Thank you. Put them back where it says, may I be at peace. Thank you. I'll wait for you. May I be at peace. Keep going, Eli. Yeah, he's on his way. He's got it. May I be at peace at the top.
Eli, it's the first song we sang. No, it's not your fault.
It's not your fault. Not your fault. You're fine.
It wasn't
You're fine.
clear.
You're fine. I wasn't clear. I apologize. So, these words, they speak to my heart. They open in me possibilities. And they quicken in my soul wonderment about the meaning of peace for me and for all of us. I'll just give you a moment to look at them. You know, it's been a long couple weeks for NCC. You know, we submitted our application for affordable housing. We declared to the world our intent to make a difference, to speak clearly, to see clearly about the world in which we want to live. And you know what we found out through the process is that not everyone likes what we're trying to do. Go figure. When you try to make a change, you actually wake people up. You get attention when you try to do something that makes a real difference. Which is why this has kept me strong through these days. I just happened to be sitting in my office a few weeks ago looking at all the stuff that we've been dealing with, the excitements, the disagreements, the tension, the anger from some about the change we're trying to make. And this kept me going. This gave me fuel. This kept me strong. The desire to make a difference requires courage. It requires a desire to stand up and be heard no matter what. 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 Thank you, Susan. This song kept me going. And so I stand before you today, just as I usually do, with this understanding about what it takes to be with you and for us to be together during these times. And I realize that, like most times when we are together, I look at my life, I look at what's happening in my circumstances, my relationships, my circumstance, and then I look at yours and your stories, what you share with me, what you open your heart to help me understand about your life, the days that you're experiencing. And I take all of that into account, and I seek to stand before you on mornings like this and talk about the message, the foundation of hope and peace and love that makes all of this possible. I ask myself, what does love have to say to us today? What can that message unlock in us? What can it have in store for us on days and times like this? But then something happened earlier this week that I want to call to your attention. See, I had a message all set for today. I had already been meditating on it and putting it into place. I do that. I prepare for you. You know that. I put the time in. I don't just stand here and just talk to you. I try to come with something to say, something relevant. But something happened this week that caught me off guard. It took me off my track. It put me in a different place. It changed my schedule, so to speak. And I couldn't stand before you today and not talk about this. I have to bring this up because if I didn't do it, I felt that it might be a betrayal of you and a betrayal of me, a betrayal of my own oaths that I took as your leader among leaders for this community. And that was the arrest of the Colombian activist Mahmoud Khalil. A story that has continued to unfold in our nation in these recent days. It's a story that I have to talk about. It's a story that is taking root in the hearts of our consciousness right now as a nation. And so if you'll bear with me, I just want to acknowledge this morning that this story, while it is still yet being written, while it's not completely run its course, it must be spoken to this morning as clearly as we can muster. Some look at this story and they see it for what it is. They are angered. They are perplexed by it. They are bewildered by it, curious, wondering about what it means and what it portends. And I understand that there are some who see this story as kind of a test of the power of the executive, a test of the power of the American consciousness, a test of what we're willing to tolerate as citizens and lovers of this land. I understand all that it's questions that are being positioned for us as I stand and speak to you today. These questions will be answered in the coming days and weeks. But just for this moment, let me suggest that yes, I know there are those who look at this situation and they're afraid. They are scared. They are angered. They are perplexed. They're not happy. They're not at peace about this situation. I count myself one of them. There have been times this week when I've been all those things, all the above. And I think today I'm a combination of many of those words all at the same time. It's disheartening. It's confusing. And many of us are breaking with compassion. And others across our nation, they are hardening in their views and opinions about these kinds of matters. My point here is that there are all kinds of emotions and feelings and opinions about this story. And I am not here to judge any of that. I'm simply acknowledging what is happening in our land, in our nation right now about this very important, groundbreaking story. No judgment. But at the same time, even as I stand without that need or desire to judge, I'm also mindful of the need for peace like never before in our United States. I'm talking about real peace, not the fake stuff that comes and goes. I'm talking about real peace. What's happening within us what's happening to us, all around us. I believe we need peace in our land. I believe we need peace in America. We need peace in our communities. We need peace in our hearts. We need peace in our souls. We need peace in our conscience. We need peace. We need peace. Now, I'm not naive. I know I know that what I'm saying right now, this call for peace, I know that it will not necessarily fix all our problems. I am not standing here today and offering peace as the thing that's going to make this thing right in the next moment. It's not necessarily going to fix our problem. Let me be clear. Peace is not necessarily the cessation of violence. It is not necessarily the absence of conflict. Peace does not mean we'll have unanimity. Peace does not mean we'll have agreement. But it does do something about the person who is holding it. It does something about the heart that is home to it. What I'm saying is peace is not about what's going on out there. It's not what's going on around us. Peace is about what's bubbling, what is percolating, what is moving up in us, through us. Peace is a matter of the heart. And I don't just mean the heart. I mean my heart. I mean yours, ours. I'll put it simply. Peace is a question. You know how we love to say oftentimes that love can be an action word. It can be exemplified in acts of kindness and just and courageous deeds like a spiritual center and affordable housing. Well, peace is often formulated best in the form of a question. And that question has everything to do about what's going on in here, not about what's happening out there. It's asking a question, always. Even when I'm not aware or willing to listen, peace is asking me a question about me. And that question, today at least, is, Rodrick, is your heart at peace or is your heart at war? Is your heart at peace or is your heart at war? Is your heart at peace or is your heart at war? One of my favorite books, you've heard me talk about her before, and I just had to keep doing it because it's Women's History Month, it's Women's Month, it's the month for women, which really should be every month, but just since we're in the month of March and it's Women's Month, I have to bring back my beloved Bell Hooks and talk about what she meant when she was describing and defining love. And there's a powerful chapter in her book about rage, the very powerful, very courageous, very pervasive power of love, that when it's so strong in you, when it's so evident in you, when it's so real in your life, you can't help but show it out. You can't help but share it forward. You can't help but be its most powerful exponent. When she was talking about the power of love, she proposes this idea about the warring heart. She talks about the warring heart. And I take such inspiration from her book because for her, the idea of the peaceful, loving, joyful heart, it's not just something to read books about and enjoy poetry about or sing lovely songs about. These are real questions about who we are and the person we want to be, and most importantly, the world in which we want to live. As I read Bell Hooks' books about love and rage, righteous rage, what I'm hearing her say so beautifully is that a heart that is at war with itself sees its neighbor as an obstacle, sees its neighbor as an enemy, sees its neighbor as irrelevant. But a heart that is at peace is a heart that is able to persist, as Susan read so beautifully, in courage and kindness and possibility and an openness in the midst of disagreement, in the midst of division, in the midst of chaos. A heart that is at peace is able to exist and persist in the eye of the storm and not lose its center, not lose its power, not lose its powerful heart, not lose its very foundation and commitment to things greater than itself. A heart that is at peace is a heart in love. So the question becomes, are we in a place to hear that question, to allow peace to change our lives? I mean, really allow peace to change our lives. To live that question. To find ourselves and our hearts to a place of peace. Peace is asking us the question, will we live in peace or will we live at war in our hearts? I was on a Zoom call this week with some pastor friends of mine talking about the Mahmoud Khalil situation. And we were waxing about our response to situations like these. And one of my facilitators on the Zoom call, she asked us a really powerful question. She put us in a place of wonderment about how we can enact and embody this idea of love that Bell Hooks talked so beautifully about during the course of her life. And eventually, the question came to me, and I had a chance to answer it for myself. Now, the question that I heard was something like, in the event someone comes to our NCC and has a need for some sanctuary, let's say they've been targeted by the federal government, maybe some ICE agents and the like, and they need some sanctuary at a place like an NCC. How would Pastor Rod respond to that? Now this hasn't happened yet. Let me be clear. This has not happened yet, but if it were to happen, how would Pastor Rod respond? How would Pastor Rod encourage his NCC beloveds to respond? What can we do together? And some very simple ideas came to my mind. One, we would do everything we can to offer food and refuge and wholeness and supplies and whatever we can do, hugs, hearts, whatever we can muster to bring a sense of dignity and respect to these hearts who need sanctuary, who need peace. And that makes sense. But even as I said it, even as I said those words, I felt Bell Hooks hitting me on the shoulder and saying, that's not enough. I felt Bell Hooks hitting me over the head and saying, Yes, and what else? And then it hit me like a ton of bricks, like bell hooks coming down from the heavens and saying, I told you. Because it's not just about the folks needing the sanctuary. It's about those agents too. If I had some ICE agents walking in my NCC right now, our NCC right now, if I had some ICE agents making their way into our beloved home right now, I'm not going to meet them with anger. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to offer some sanctuary to our friends who need it, and I'm going to invite our ICE agent friends to a meal. A meal where we can get to know each other, hear some stories, learn about each other's journeys. They are humans too. They deserve our generosity too. And as long as we are able to do what we do, offer our home, offer our sanctuary, offer our safety, offer our security, at the same time, I'm going to look each and every one of those agents in their eye and say, you are welcome here too. For you are a human being. And you deserve a place also. I'm talking about peace, y'all. I'm talking about a heart at peace. And when you're trying to be a heart at peace, it's not about right and wrong, or who is right or who is wrong. It's about how we serve others. Those we agree with, those we don't, and those we're not even sure about. I'm talking about real peace today. Peace in our hearts. You know, the last time I checked, before our friends who need the sanctuary were labeled all these weird names or known names, these obvious names like migrants and aliens and illegals, before any of those labels were ever thrown or used on our friends, they're human beings. Flesh and blood, breathing, and in need of a place where they can be included and loved, seen and heard. And just like them, our ICE agent friends, before they got jobs working for the federal government, before they were labeled all these words that are ascribed to them, good, bad, and indifferent, they too are human beings. And they deserve real peace in their lives. See, what I'm proposing today is how peace operates no matter what comes. No matter what. No matter what. We need not compromise our values while we open our hearts to what can be. We need not cast aside our commitment to standing on the side of love while we open our doors to the possibilities of relationships we never knew we could persist or create within. See, we are not an either-or community. We allow the both and possibilities to unlock and revolutionize and change our actions, change our words, change our ways of thinking, change our actions in a world so intent on pulling us apart. And everything I've just suggested may not fix anything. It may not change anything in the macro. It may not. But you know what it does do? Is that it keeps our hearts at peace. It keeps our souls in a place of willingness. It allows us to move forward no matter what comes. I guess what I'm saying is we got to get to a place in our peaceful hearts where we get rid of the need to change somebody else's heart and simply focus on the only heart that we can change in the first place, and that's our own. All the great teachers, they taught us the power of peace. All the great teachers, they left us the gift. And they all, in their own ways, ask us, who in your heart are you at peace with? Who are you at peace with in your own heart today? Whether in your friend networks, your family networks, your community connections, those you hold dear, who are you at peace with in your heart today? What does it look like? What's the character of it? What makes it soar? What gives it color? What allows it to persist no matter what comes? What is the quality of that peace? Now, here's why I'm asking. I'm asking you why it works. I'm asking you what purchase it has in your life. I'm asking you what meaning it carries in your souls, because just as much as I'm curious about those with which you are at peace, I also got to ask you, who are you at war with in your heart? Who are you at war with in your heart? And what needs to be done in order for you to be opened up? What goodness can you take from your peaceful connections? What wisdom can you take from your peaceful connections, your peaceful relationships, your peaceful circumstances? What joy can you take from that and perhaps apply over here to those warring parts of your life? What goodness can transfer from here to there so that you're no longer dealing with this duplicitous heart where one moment you're feeling peaceful and the other moment you're at war and you can't stand it? How can we find a place where we can bring the possibility of connection together, where this is no longer existing while this is trying to maintain? How about having a peace at heart and finding the goodness, finding the possibility, finding the kindness that you need to get there, to live there, to be there? I hear you, Belle. I hear you, Belle. Love has given us her peace. What's next?
Carole King, that's what's next. When you're down and troubled, close your eyes and think of me. starts to blow. Keep your head together. Soon you'll hear me knocking at your door. You just call out my name, and you know wherever I am, to see you again. Winter, spring, summer, or fall. Now ain't it good to know you've got a friend when people can be so cold? They'll hurt you and desert you, and they'll take your soul if you let them. Oh yeah, but don't you let them. You just call, and you know to see you again. Winter, spring, summer, or fall. And up, you got a friend. You've got a friend. Ain't it good to know you've got a friend? You've got a friend. Thank you for being my friend.